This is important to note while you're negotiating a divorce, just from the standpoint of what would the future hold if you have to pursue this, and what are the restrictions under law. So once you establish custody in the course of a divorce, because during married life, you just both each had access to the children and the right to have the children under law as married persons. But now we're establishing what an actual court order specifying legal, physical custodies along with parenting time. And so within the first 2 years after that establishment of that custody and parenting time order, it's presumed that we're not going to be changing custody, because then the burden of proof to deal with those changes that come about in that, or desire for changes that are wanted during that time, is very much different. For instance, if it's a contested thing, you need to prove an endangerment, that the current circumstance or environment endangers the child's physical, mental, or emotional health, which is a very tall, difficult standard. That's one basis on which it could be changed within 2 years. Another one is if, despite whatever the divorce decree had, if, say, the custodial parent yielded to allow the child to live primarily with the non-custodial parent, and by virtue of that integration that was consensual, it makes sense to perhaps make that change, lock it in, and then also probably change the child support from going one person to the other person. And so integration's another basis. Sometimes parties also agree to change the standard, that as part of their divorce negotiation, they agree to use a lower standard, so you don't have to prove endangerment to change that during that 2-year period. Those are some of the primary considerations for when you'd want to consider that within 2 years. After 2 years, generally, it's just, you have to look at what's in the best interest of the child relative to like the custody or the parenting time changes. When it comes to making some custody changes after 2 years, we end up having to look at some additional considerations depending on how big of a custody change it is. However, when it comes to actually changing custody after that 2-year point, that's a totally different video, much longer video.